Hi, folks. Thank you so much to everybody who's joining us. I'm Hannah McGregor. I'm the director of the publishing program, and I am going to be sort of, emceeing this open house. So I'm going to share a PowerPoint presentation to review a few high-level things, and we'll also introduce. You know what? I'm going to introduce everybody before I open the PowerPoint. Um, just so that you can see more of us on screen. So, as I said, I'm Hannah McGregor. I am the director of the program. Um, I also teach predominantly in the area of podcasting. That's also why I have these big headphones on and this huge microphone that might, on occasion, sort of eat part of my face because the green screen doesn't believe it exists. Leanne, would you go next?
Sure. Hello, my name's Leanne, and I am the grad chair for the publishing program as well as teaching in the undergrad and graduate program. In the graduate program, I teach management, marketing, and entrepreneurship.
Thank you. Joanne, would you go next?
Hi, my name's Joanne Ray, and I am the manager and program advisor for the publishing program, which includes the Master of Publishing. And I see in the gallery that I have been in contact already with a few of the attendees. So welcome, and also welcome to those that I have not yet had the opportunity to meet. Thanks.
Thank you. Shamina?
Yes, hi, I'm Shamina. I'm the coordinator for publishing programs, and I just want to add a little note that we are recording today's session just so that we'll have it available for others, but we will stop recording before we do our open Q&A.
Yeah, so
So,
no worries about yourself appearing on recording. We're just going to record this informational part. And Madeline.
Hi, everybody. I'm Madeline. I am an MPub student. I currently just finished my first semester. I'm from Edmonton, Alberta, living in Vancouver, doing my master's in publishing at SFU.
Amazing. Thank you, everybody. So I'm going to share a PowerPoint, just to run over some information with all of us. And we have already done the first thing or the second thing. So here's the first thing. Um, all of us are currently located at Simon Fraser University, which is on the traditional and unceded territory of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations. That we are at the, um, pardon, we are at the downtown Harbor Center location. That's what you're seeing behind all of us is the front doors of Harbor Center. And Harbor Center is located on shared territory. And it is a really important part of our understanding of the work that we do here in the publishing program, is to really honor what it means to be guests on Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh territory, and to really try to show up in a good way in the work that we do. So, as I said, a slight overview, introductions we have done. I'm going to give you a high level overview of the program. Then Leanne is going to speak a little bit about how to create a strong application to the Master of Publishing. Madeline will speak a little bit to the student experience, and then we will move on to the Q&A, at which point we will stop recording. So, at a high level, the information that you need to know about the Master of Publishing is that there is a combination of core required courses that every student in the program needs to take, and then electives, so courses that you can choose between in order to put together essentially a stream or a personalized option. And the streams, as we define them, are trade publishing, which is what you might think of as sort of commercial or mainstream publishing, scholarly communication, so the publishing of scholarly books and journals, and innovation and entrepreneurship, which is non traditional publishing, of new media publishing, podcasts, zines, web platforms, and also sort of starting your own publishing project. And then once you've done your 6 required courses and your 5 electives, you also complete one of 3 capstone options in order to complete the full degree. You are not required to do this degree full time, As long as you're doing 2 courses in a semester, you technically qualify as a full-time student. But you can really do between 2 and 4 per semester, depending on the rate at which you would like to complete the degree, the other needs that you have in your life, etc. So I'm going to run over very briefly the courses that are involved in the degree. So these are the required courses for the Master of Publishing. In the fall, this is from this past year, because scheduling might change slightly, but here's what the general layout was for the last year. In the fall, you do Publishing 600, which is a sort of core skills course. You learn management, project management, collaboration, communication skills, a lot of really vital core skills that will then play out in the rest of your work through the publishing program. You also take one of the 3 required seminar courses, Publishing and the Problem of Capitalism, which introduces you to sort of theorizing what publishing is as an industry and thinking about its relationship to policy, to the international landscape of publishing as an industry, and really thinking about where those things come into contact and sometimes come into tension with each other. And then you will also, in your first semester, take our professional practices seminar. This is a non-credit course. It's pass or fail, and it is there to help support you in building up the skills that you need in order to build a career in publishing. So you'll do things like meet some different folks who work in the industry, have opportunities to get some skills around networking, doing informational interviews, applying for jobs, those kinds of skills. In the spring semester, you take the other 2 required seminar courses. So that's Pub 801, Theories of Publishing. This is where you'll get introduced to sort of the field of publishing studies as an academic field. And this will include things like the history of the book, as well as sort of more contemporary scholarship, really thinking about what publishing is and how it's operated historically and in the present. You'll take Pub 802, Technology in the Evolving Form of Publishing, which is very focused on the contemporary moment and thinks about new technologies and how they are intersecting with how we conceive of publishing as an industry and a set of practices. And then you'll continue with part 2 of the Professional Practices seminar. And then in the summer and in subsequent years, if you decide to take a more part-time approach, you'll also take various electives. So a little bit about what electives are available to you. You choose 5 electives, and as I mentioned, we recommend electives based on the stream that you are interested in, and we do ask you to identify what stream you're interested in or what your particular interest is in your application, mostly because it's good information for us to have when we're scheduling classes. This is an overview. It's not always going to be exactly the same offerings, but this is an overview generally of the electives that are available to you. And so I'm going to move past this slide and show you sort of what electives you might take depending on what stream you're interested in. So if you're interested in trade publishing and what you really want is a kind of overview of trade publishing as a whole, you'd probably want to take our editorial theory and practice course, which is where you actually get hands-on experience with editing a book manuscript and learning more about the work of an editor. You'll probably want to take design and production management, which is where you learn the sort of basic building, like the foundational skills of book design, and also how to incorporate design into managing the production of a book from manuscript acquisition up to the book actually existing. And then you'll probably also want to take at least 1 or 2, if not all, of our project courses. The project courses or simulation courses are intensive hands-on simulations of the publishing process. So you work in groups for the book project. For book publishing simulation, you work in a group to create a imagined new imprint of an existing publisher, and you create the sort of first season front list for that imprint. You totally conceive of the books from scratch. Um, in the media startup simulation, you come up with a digital publishing startup. And again, you sort of work with a group to conceive the entire project from beginning to end. And then the digital publishing workshop gives you a lot of concrete hands-on skills in digital publishing, like creating accessible ebooks or working in audio production, for example. So this is the version of the degree that sort of uh, gives you a broad overview of a lot of different aspects of trade publishing and really prepares you to sort of jump into that industry at any point. We also offer a lot of courses that will help you develop the skills you might want to start your own publishing startup or your own innovative project that you're interested in creating for yourself. And so in that case, you might look at other courses such as Publishing and Social Change, which introduces you to zine making and podcasting, our event planning course, which teaches you about essentially how to organize a literary festival or other kinds of publishing related events. And we also have online marketing in the summer, which is a great sort of hands-on introduction to how to use digital tools for marketing and promotion. A really vital skill if you want to go off and start your own startup of some kind. And then finally, we also offer a stream for those interested in scholarly communication. So there's a lot of really exciting work happening in the area of journal publishing and scholarly book publishing. And these courses, like Technologies and Infrastructure for Academic Publishing and Making Knowledge Public, introduce you both to the sort of theory of scholarly communication, but also, again, give you those like hands-on concrete skills to teach you how to edit a scholarly journal, for example. So the final thing that you will consider is what capstone option you want to complete. You do one of the three capstones, and any stream can take any of the capstones, and you don't have to decide before you start the program. So this is really just to let you know what the options are. You might go with the industry placement option, where you will work to secure a professional placement and then complete a short report summarizing that work. There is a project option where you create your own self-directed publishing project, like a small press or a podcast or a digital publishing platform. And again, a short report that summarizes that. Or you can take the research option, where you would complete 2 extended essays or 1 article length work on a research topic. That's a great option if you're considering further grad school after this, or if you just want an opportunity to work on a slightly larger or longer sort of written and researched project. So that's, again, it's a lot of information. It's very high level overview. Happy to answer more specific questions, but that gives you the sort of rough outline of what the Master of Publishing looks like at a course level. And I'm going to turn things over to Leanne now to talk a little bit more about applying.
All right, thank you, Hannah. I'm just going to show you some resources here. So let's look at, we have our own page for the publishing program that lists our graduate and undergraduate studies. And if you notice, there's admission to the MPub program, the streams that Hannah was talking about, a summary of that in case you want a refresher, as well as a list of the courses that we offer, and more explanation of each course, and then bios of faculty and staff, etc. This is important because I'm going to talk a little bit about what makes a strong application for the program. So one of the strongest approaches to applying for the program is understanding how the program works and having a knowledge of the streams and the courses that you might be interested in. So here's the streams that Hannah was talking about, and now the breakdown of all the courses. And then this page is the admission to the MPub program. So we're still in the publishing masters section here. So February 1st is the deadline. And to apply, you'll go over to the grad studies site, which is a little bit more generic until you actually get into the application section. But this breaks down what we're looking for as part of the application. So the first thing is a statement of aims and objectives. So essentially writing to us about why you're applying for the program. And I sort of laugh there because see in brackets at the end here with no mention of how much you love books. So we really want you to demonstrate your understanding of the program. I think love of books is probably what brings us all here together. So we just want you to move beyond that and talk and demonstrate that you understand the program or what you're getting into when you apply with us. Then, sort of typical things, transcripts. We do have some prerequisite requirements. We would like you to have acquired at least one of these prerequisites before applying, but there is ample opportunity after February 1st to upgrade your skills, and you can let us know how you're planning to do that if there's an area that you haven't met the requirements, the prerequisites. So you must demonstrate skills in spoken and written English, background understanding of the publishing industry. So we want you to demonstrate evidence of basic accounting skills, familiarity with principles of marketing, demonstrate basic competence in copy editing and proofreading, be able to use professional software. We've kind of leaned into Adobe here, but also Affinity apps are also, if you have worked with Affinity, which is free right now, I would highly recommend that you might want to become familiar with that. And as well, consider that there's quite a lot of teamwork and collaboration and within the creative process and within our program as well. So if you feel like you want to refresh your skills, we do have courses that we recommend if you're in the Vancouver area. I think these may still be in person. There's the publishing process, the magazine media publishing, and the business of book publishing. But also there are other areas you can upgrade your accounting skills through LinkedIn Learning as one that comes to mind right now. Marketing, we have marketing courses. Again, you could also take some LinkedIn Learning. Copy editing and proofreading. You can look up, which is quite a tome, the Chicago Manual of Style. And there's editing workshops online available through us, through our lifelong learning program, as well as other programs out there. So those are the prerequisite skills, and just let us know where you're at with what the prerequisite requirements are and what qualifications that you need to upskill before entering the program. Uh, 3 references for typical academic, your resume or CV, and a portfolio. And some people get a little intimidated by portfolio because we're thinking about design portfolios, art portfolios, but that can also include tear sheets if you're a writer or freelancer, any kind of experience you have of writing. Sometimes people include stories they've worked on or published, as well as papers that they've done or published through the university. So it can be a variety of things reflecting what your skill sets are. And so as part of the application, we ask you to upload a PDF. Some people include Links, the problem with our system is links are kind of hard to get to. So if you have like a 400 word letter URL, you might want to actually just include a QR code, and so that we can scan it with our phones and look at your website if you want to link it that way. And that's it. If you have any questions, this website here, our website, I will put it in the chat.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Leanne. Um, you've been getting a lot of sort of conceptual information, but we wanted to give you an opportunity to hear a little bit from somebody who's actually taking the Master of Publishing and what it's actually like doing the degree. So, Madeline, I'm going to turn things over to you.
Hi, everybody. Just warning, there is work in the apartment above me, so you might hear some banging, but hopefully that doesn't interfere with my voice or anything. Um, so I came to the MPub with an arts degree in English literature, but I quickly found out that the cohort comes from all different types of academic backgrounds. So far, it has created a thriving environment for me, learning from my peers who are all like-minded when it comes to the publishing industry, and hearing different perspectives from their diverse experiences as well. We have aspiring authors, journalists, and even a student who has a master's in psychology. The support from the faculty at the graduate level is already much higher than that of an undergrad program, but this program in particular feels supportive to a different extent. Considering you have the opportunity to choose three different paths, as Hannah had kind of mentioned, the industry liaison works to support you in any endeavor you decide to follow. Um, the support I've received in class to research my industry interests has been above and beyond what I expected, whether that's creating my own profit and loss statement for a niche genre title or exploring the differences between copyright and trademarks when protecting intellectual property. My professors have created an environment that thrives off of my personal curiosity. I've had the opportunity to explore the publication of Indigenous literature in Canada and identifying new opportunities with the BISAC codes introduced in 2023, something that you will likely learn more about in this program. I have also brought my personal knowledge of fan fiction into Pub 800, Publishing and the Problem of Capitalism, where I've explored more deeply how new releases needed to adapt to copyright and trademarks in Canada and by extension, the United States. Um, each class I have taken has been completely different, from the course contents to the actual style of lectures. Whether it is group-based or seminar-based, the program is extremely interactive with the rest of the MPub students, making it easy for us to get to know each other and our strengths, which has opened doors for us to work on our own creative endeavors outside of class time as well. Two of the students in the program have co-created a literary magazine they've called Bitter, with lots of help from other students in the cohort. Finally, I've gained so much professional experience within the last 4 months. While it was a course requirement to do our own industry chats with professionals in the industry, I've ended up speaking to three different people at Wattpad, a company I have immense interest in. I spoke to an individual who runs the American office of Lux Books out of, like, originally from Germany. And I have been offered the opportunity to spearhead the social media accounts for a former SFU student on a project that they're currently working on. Um, Overall, I would say that the MPub is a life-changing experience for someone interested in the publishing industry, and I cannot recommend the program enough. And this is all coming from someone who has only finished my first semester, so I have all the way up until next year to continue to thrive in this environment.
Thank you so much, Madeline. So, hopefully, you've got a sense at this point of sort of the overview of the kind of coursework you would be doing, what is involved in the application process, sort of what skills we are looking for you to demonstrate, either that you already have or that you've got a plan to acquire, and then a little bit of sort of what it is like to actually be part of this degree. Um, We recommend that you head over to publishing.sfu.ca if you want to find out more. A lot of the links that you saw Leanne pointing you to in the video can be found over there, along with a lot of the information that I shared in the slideshow. And as I said, this video will be made more widely available. So you might be watching it right now and you were not at this event. Please feel free to reach out. Pub-info@sfu.ca is a great place to reach out if you have questions about the program and would like to follow up on anything that we've said here today.